Hi, I'm Chris Larson from Lucky Duck, and today we're talking about how to switch out a motor in your decoy. Now the directions I'm going to give you will work for a Super Lucky, any Pro Series decoy we have, or the Rapid Flyer decoy. Now what yours will look like depends on when you purchase the bird. If you've got a 2011 decoy or older, the mounting is going to look like this. It's going to be a little bit different than the newer decoys that we've come out. The 2012 decoys will look about like this. Now the directions are pretty similar. We'll go through them both here as we go through the video. When you go to replace that motor, it's going to go in exactly the same, because when we send you your replacement motor, you'll get the new mounting system and the new motor. So the way that we replace that motor is exactly the same. Doesn't matter when you bought your bird. Let's take a look at the inside and we'll talk about how to take this apart and get started on putting that new motor into your decoy. You're going to start off by loosening the nuts on the outside. You'll use an 8mm driver or a wrench to take those off. This is the 2011 or older bird. Will have this mounting system on it. Then once you get the exterior nuts off, you're going to have to loosen the nuts on the inside of the decoy all the way up to the mount. All right, we have the nuts loosened up on this side. On the other side, we don't have to worry about it. As long as we've got those nuts on the outside of the decoy taken off, we don't have to worry about the ones on the inside. We're just going to press this tight and get ourselves some room on this side, and then we'll free this side up. Pretty simple. Let's check it out. Let's try it. All right, we've got the motor loose. Now we just have to take apart the wiring. Remember, the blue wire is going to be on the blank terminal, and then the white wire is on the terminal that has a little bit of red on it. When you go to put your new motor in, same thing. Blue wire on the blank terminal, white wire will be on the terminal that has just a little dash of red on it. I showed you how to do the 2011 or older bird. Now let's talk about the newer decoys. Now this one's a little bit simpler process. You just have some Phillips head screws in here. We're just going to loosen those screws up, and you'll find that pulling the motor out on this one is a little bit more simple. Let's do it. We have all those screws removed. Now we're going to pull the motor out, and the motor, to remove that, doesn't take a lot of work. You're just going to spin it so you've got those little mounts are above the decoy, and it'll be really easy to pry it out of there. Now the process here is pretty similar to what we did with the older bird. We're just going to have that mount turned, and we're just going to kind of push on the edge, pull it out. We'll pop that motor out, and then the electrical connections are exactly the same as the old one. The blue wire is going to be hooked up to the blank terminal. The white wire is going to be hooked up to the red terminal. Now when we pulled that motor out, a couple small black pieces of plastic fell down, and those are just mounting brackets. You're going to want to take those out of the decoy, and you'll get some new ones when you get your new motor. When we get ready to put that back in, I'll show you how that works. So we're all set to put our new motor in, and before you start putting it back into the decoy, what we're going to want to do is basically just do what we did to take it out. We're going to do it in the opposite direction. We're going to put the wiring on first, and remember, the white wire is going to go on the red terminal, and the blue wire will go on the blank terminal. So we're all wired up, we're ready to go into the decoy. We're going to do what we did before, but we're just going to do it in reverse. So we've got it wired up, we're going to put it into the decoy. We're going to keep this piece of the mounting bracket up. We'll slide that in, tuck that back, and now we're in there. So this part of the mounting bracket is going to go in the front of the decoy. Once we get that slid into place, we're going to put our screws in here to hold it in place, and then we'll put our spacers in on the back side of the decoy and get it all secured, ready to go and ready to hunt. When you get your replacement motor, you're going to get 4 different screws. You'll have 2 long ones and 2 short ones. The short ones will go up front, the long ones will go in the back, and they'll have that little mounting bracket in there. I'll show you how to do that in just a second. But just a quick note, when you get those screws, you'll either get silver or black screws. And you're probably just going to want to go to a craft store and get a matching color paint to whatever your decoy is, whether it's a drake or a hen. Get that paint and just touch up the tips of those screws and you'll be all set and ready to hunt again. We're just going to tighten these screws up snug against the body, and the way the frame is designed will hold the form of the decoy perfectly right where you want it. So we're just going to snug that up and we'll tighten the other side. Again, we're going to do the 2 front ones first, then we'll put those spacers in and do the back ones. All right, now we're going to put these mounting brackets in. There's kind of a rougher side on one side, and then the other side's a little smoother. We're going to put the smooth side toward the edge of the body of the decoy. The rough side will go toward the motor mount. So we're just going to slide these in. We'll put our screw in here. Got ourselves started, get the motor lined up. We're just going to kind of get that set until we get the other side in there. So we've got the other mounting piece in there, and we've got the blue wire below the mount, the white wire above the mount. And we'll go ahead and put the final screw in. Now that everything's lined up, we can snug these screws. So no matter what year your decoy is, the process of putting the new motor in is exactly the same. The only difference is going to be when you take the motor out. But the new motor is going to come the same either way. And keep in mind, this just took, you can probably do this in well under 10 minutes. You can replace your motor and be ready to go, ready to hunt. Your lucky duck is ready to get back out in the field and fool those ducks. If you have any other questions, please go to our website. Check it out. It's luckyduck.com.